Hello and welcome. I'm Lauren Pettigrew, the COO at the Leadership Sphere, and I'm joined here by Richard Farrelly, our Senior Consultant and Facilitator. Hi, Richard.
Hi, Lawrence. Good to see
You. And Victoria Buchanan, Head of Business Engagement and Partnerships.
Hi, Lauren. Hi, Richard.
you. Hey, Victoria.
All right. So I guess we're going to jump in. This is our Meet the Team series. And firstly, I'd like to know, I guess, about your journey with TLS. How did it start? And yeah, your involvement with us. How did it begin? I'll start with you, Richard.
Yeah, Lauren. Well, it all started with you, to be honest, back in 2018 when I was doing the her HBDI certification, and we just got to know each other through that and stayed friends over the years. And at the time, I was in policing, and I suppose I had a bit of a plan to exit. I was sort of a bit tired of policing, and had a plan. You basically kicked me off on a pathway to leaving Victoria Police, and I left in January 2022 and became a consultant for TLS. So I'm very, very grateful, and it's really helped me along the path of really I suppose successful and satisfying journey. And that's one of the big things that I want, is just something that is I'm really happy to be doing and engaged with. So that's sort of where it all kicked off. There's a lot more to it, but that's where I'll leave it. Yeah.
30 Beatles were involved, I believe, but we
Yes.
won't. Awesome. And same question for you, Victoria. How did your involvement with TLS begin?
Yeah, so I saw the job advertised on Seek for Head of Business Engagement and got extremely excited, having worked in this space for the last 3 years. Very passionate about leadership and development. It's quite a unique opportunity to be able to be part of improving people's personal and professional growth. And yes, there was a lengthy interview process, and here I am, absolutely delighted to be part of the leadership sphere in the team.
Thank you, and apologies for the interview process that you went through. And staying on that tune, I guess, what is it that excites you about the work that we do at TLS and being part of this community, Victoria?
Yeah, I think it's like I said, it's a great feeling, working in sales, not just to be doing sales, but actually to be able to make an impact in organizations, whether that's with individuals or teams. And obviously we never stop growing. And I think it's great to be able to help people on their journey to further develop.
Pretty special work that we do. And Rich, I know this has been your passion to get into the leadership space. You did work within VicPol in the leadership space as well, but what is it particularly about the TLS community and the work we do that excites you?
I think it's so doing it in Victoria Police. I was working with a lot of leaders. So prior to leaving, it was like 3,500 leaders delivering a people-focused leadership program, and absolutely loved it, and learn a lot from that. But it's the diversity of people of clients that I actually have engaged with since working with the leadership sphere, whole range of sectors and people that I would not have met in a million years in policing. And it's also like, even if I'm just looking at my background now, and the LX Digital work, I think that's a working title, but actually being involved in that, which is something different, which I never would have experienced as well. The other thing is the work I was doing with Victoria Police was a lot around adaptive leadership principles, and that's primarily the leadership work that the leadership sphere do, and impart that knowledge onto the leaders that we work with, which is really exciting, because I find it's the deeper work and really gets people thinking. So that's what I like about it. So.
Awesome. And what Richard's alluding to is something we haven't publicly announced yet, but why not? We're about to release the digital arm of the leadership sphere, which will be self-contained, self-paced leadership content. Alex is our leadership excellence, one of our signature programs, to make it more accessible to all leaders. So it'll have a lower price point than face-to-face facilitation, and it's self-contained, it's modern, it's awesome, and it's in full-blown production right now. It should be going live very soon. So Thank you for that. The plug there.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, I'm not spoiler alert.
Oh, it's great. And you've been working really hard as part of that content. It's video based, it's interactive. We're doing the best we can to bring live facilitation into a self-paced program. And I guess on that piece, Richard, how do you think leaders can encourage a culture of continuous improvement and growth?
I often think about this, Lauren, from the base level for leaders in that leading self, which is a lot of what leadership programs are based on, is that if we don't understand ourselves first and don't understand how we lead, then it's really hard to lead others. So I think some of the baseline ways to encourage that culture of continuous improvement is, say, modeling that behavior that contributes to, say, a positive and respectful workplace. Like doing self-reflection to think how your actions have impacted on others, so basically that influence piece as well. And then there's all that trust, engendering trust in other people, which is a really, really big piece, which I think a lot of organisations don't, or a lot of leaders, I should say, don't really dig into and think about, well, how to actually build trust around other people. And I think within teams that it's sort of building people's capability, and the term I use is build capability and reduce dependency. So people aren't lining up outside your door all the time. And I remember in place, I was a really nice guy and I knew a lot. And I was the nice sergeant and senior sergeant, so I'd have this queue outside my door, and it just began constantly to the point where I go, I hate being the nice guy, but it was just in me. And what I realised, that what I was doing was creating that dependency. I wasn't actually using leadership tools like coaching and difficult conversations and creating self-awareness and influencing for the people to actually give them the opportunity to actually learn themselves. And it's a common trait amongst leaders to be seduced into helping, because you want to be known to know everything, but you can't. So yeah, so there's some of the key elements I think of when I think about creating a culture of continuous improvement, is leading yourself first, then building that capability in teams as well. So yeah.
I like that, Richard. If people don't have psychological safety and you haven't built trust within a team, they don't feel safe to do the improvement pieces either. So yeah. Thank you. And I guess switching gears a little bit, Victoria, how do you handle obstacles and setbacks that disrupt your flow?
Yeah, I think it's important to embrace challenges as a natural part of progress to success. I think it's important to pause, reflect, and reset. And that's certainly my methodology around it. I like to just take a moment, breathe, and focus on the most important tasks first, and then create a list so that you get as much done in the day as possible. I think, you know, you have to have resilience to be able to cope with setbacks. And that's something that we teach at the leadership sphere and across leadership. And it's definitely something that's a work in progress. And as you further develop, you continue to build upon that.
Yeah, beautiful. It is. And yes, resilience is a big part of leadership and showing up and surviving in this crazy complex world that we live in at the moment as well. So awesome. I'm going to switch gears a little bit. This question is getting fired out at both of you. Do you prefer, just so people can get to know you a little better, do you prefer beach vacations or exploring cities, Victoria?
Oh, beach. Definitely beach.
Water baby. All right, Richard. Beaches.
Yeah, it used to be exploring cities, but now I spend fair bit of time down at the beach. This is Brighton Beach in Melbourne behind me, but I also down in Torquay in Victoria and up in Queensland as well.
So both like traveling.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, very much so.
Awesome. Do you have a favorite book that's left a lasting impression on you? Something that you'd recommend others read, something recent or something, one of those books, the ones that it shifts your perspective or it takes you on a journey. I love reading and it would be hard to pick just one, but do you have one or two that springs to mind of, books that have had impact on you?
I'll go first here. I have two books, actually, recent ones that I've read that really have made an impact and helped me further develop in my career up the leadership ladder. So, Atomic Habits is a firm favorite of mine. It's just the best book. The way they explain, behavioral change in those bite-sized snippets. I think everybody should read that. And whether it's for your personal or professional growth, there's a lot of takeaways in it. And certainly I try those little habits every day, to whether it's getting up and going for a walk with my dogs or choosing the orange over the chocolate bar. Um, I think when we switch that mindset, that's when you start on that path to growth. And I love that book for that reason. The second one, which I'm currently reading, which I absolutely love, is Brene Brown, Dare to Lead.
Ah.
And as you know, I'm currently going through the Dare to Lead program. I think Brene Brown simply explains it in a way that everybody can understand, on how to become a courageous leader. It's not technical, it's not difficult, but she gets straight to the point, and I just love her approach to it. I think it's very reassuring as a leader, just to understand, okay, this isn't difficult, but it's about how you behave yourself, and understanding your own emotions, and that's going to help you on the path to becoming a better leader.
Two very good choices there, Victoria. Obviously, Dare to Lead, one of our signature programs. Me personally, that's how my TLS journey started. I enrolled in the Dare to Lead course. Phil, our CEO and founder, was running it, and I finished that and went, I need to work at this place where this stuff gets sent to the world. Everyone that works at TLS, it's part of the onboarding process. We live and breathe the Brene Brown concepts and principles. And for a researcher and a scientist, she really simplifies it into foundational language. And James Clear, love his work. That's that piece of continuous improvement, the 1%ers, the little shifts that you can make. People overestimate what they can do in a week, and they underestimate what they can achieve in 3 months, or with those micro shifts and that compound interest that builds from it. So two very good choices, Richard.
And I love those two choices, Victoria. And that's my part of my TLS adventure. Started with the Dare to Lead program as well. So that was just before I left VicPol. And I love James Clear's Atomic Habits as well. But I'm actually going to go into the fiction path. And the two of them are Dictionary of Lost Words. I'll choose two because Victoria did. I'm going to. Dictionary of Lost Words and Lessons in Chemistry. And I've loved them both. And this is probably more from an understanding of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Like, I didn't have a great deal of understanding around it. And the main characters in both books are particularly strong women, and it's why it resonated with me is the trials and tribulations they faced over their journey. I mean, I know with both of them going back for quite long periods of time, both books, but I reflect on, like, I'm the youngest of 7 boys, and no sisters or anything. And when my mum was in her 20s, she studied to become the secretary of the Benalla Water Board. And she was told at the time, no woman will ever be the secretary of the Benalla Water Board or any water board. So she pretty well was told, don't bother. And so she then met my dad and then raised a family. And I sort of think back, like, what kind of time was that, and that actually existed? And these books sort of make me think about my mum a lot. So it was just sort of going, right, what can I do to be more supportive in that space? And so that's helped me. I know they're fiction, but I like to think that, well, this is sort of my part of my contribution to it all. So not from a leadership perspective, I know, but it's just sort of something else that sort of will, I don't know, just raise awareness for me and others.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, beautiful. All sorts of reading brings all sorts of different lenses to us, and it does impact the way that we see things or reflect back. I'm researching at the moment about traditional leadership styles versus, what still serves us now, and females in leadership, and there's all sorts of things that come through in the books and the stories, or the fables, as they say. Victoria, I'll start with you. What's a skill you've learnt recently that you're proud of?
Ooh.
Ooh,
Ooh.
so glad you were first, Victoria.
Um, Let me think. Yeah, do you know what? Since joining the leadership sphere, this is a very um, time critical role. There's a lot of moving parts every day. So I don't like to say multitask because I don't think anybody can actually multitask successfully, but I'd say that I've learned to monotask. So really focus on what's important and get the major stuff done and then make time for those smaller, less important things later. That's a task that I've recently had to learn very quickly to get everything done in my day.
Prioritizing, juggling, and absolute focus. Again, there's research around how long it takes you once you're interrupted with, I think we might have heard a ping just before from something coming through, but, there's alerts, there's beeps, we've got watches that send us messages and things now, and the distraction and the ability to focus it's a skill that we all need in leadership at the moment. Rich, what have you learned recently that you're proud of?
I've learnt it a few times over the last few years around sort of mindfulness but actually implementing it has been a whole other thing. And it's only sort of Victoria sort of raised it a little bit there around sort of monotasking, but actually slowing down and taking that time is really it's a skill. And I remember learning about it and thinking, there's no way I'm going to implement this in my life. Like, it's too hard to sit there and go, for me anyway. But it's actually, what else can I do? And it's actually just that being present, turning the notifications off on my phone. And I learnt this thing the other day. It's amazing that you've got a parental control and well-being thing for your apps, and it's a timer. And so I've dropped my Instagram use timer to 10 minutes. Oh my God, it's changed my productivity 100-fold. Yeah, it's like it cuts it out and you go, oh, it's just looking through whippets, and then the thing feed cut out. I've gone, oh my God. So anyway, that's just it. It's just a practicing of the mindfulness, and you can do it in different ways.
Yeah, definitely. Love it. All right, last question for our session here is, what is your most used emoji? Mine at the moment is this one and this one. What are your most used top two emojis?
Mine is the one where I think it's one where he's scratching his chin, like thinking. And it's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, that's right. And then the other one is just the smile one. I like putting a smile at the end of a text now. So
The
yeah.
laughing one on the side with the tears coming out. I do that a lot too.
Yeah, that's it. But I wonder whether I'm doing it or not. Okay, do they think I'm actually doing that? Like,
Victoria, your top two used emojis.
Mine is the laughing emoji with the tears coming out and a pink love heart. I use that one a lot.
oh,
Very nice.
Spreading
Thank
the
you.
love.
Yeah, you got to. I did this one. No, thank you both so much for your time. It's been lovely to chat with you. It's a pleasure and a privilege to work with you both,
yeah,
and for the work that we do, with the impact that we do. And yeah, thank you for sharing your stories and your time with me today.
brilliant. Thanks, Selfie.
Thank you.
Thank you. See ya.